Many thanks for watching. This is still Breakfast Central on News Central. Now let's take you to Ethiopia. Now, ever since the Prime Minister of the country, Abiy Ahmed, opted to lead operations at the war front in the war-torn Ethiopian Tigray region in late November, his government has claimed a series of victories against the rebels. Now, in a message quoted by the state-run Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation, Abiy said, quote, the rebels had suffered, in his own words, heavy losses and were unable to withstand the onslaught of the army allied with several pro-government militias. Now, he also added that they will defeat the enemy and that the victory will continue.
Now, the government made an announcement on Wednesday that the pro-Abiy Ahmed forces had recaptured the Lalibela site, famous for its rock-hewn churches, and the UNESCO World Heritage Site, which had fallen to Tigrayan fighters in August. However, TPLF spokesperson Getachew Reda said that the rebels' withdrawal from several towns, including Komblocha and Desi, is all part of a major plan. Now, joining us to shed more light on this concerning what's happening in that region is News Central's Horn of Africa correspondent Abdul Aden. Many thanks for joining the program. Now, can you bring us up to speed with what you know about everything concerning the Tigrayan region, especially with the ongoing war?
To you, Olu and Oli, there in our studios. A few minutes ago, we've had the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed writing on his personal social media feeds that he has had a conversation with United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He's also spoken to AU Chairperson Mr. Faki and many other leaders to try and showcase or explain the situation in Ethiopia at the moment. So that's the latest update regarding Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the developments in Ethiopia. Olu.
All right, Abdin. So it looks like they've gained so many victories since Abiy Ahmed has been at the front. Perhaps a bit of a motivational figure now for the Ethiopian forces. But the TPLF are saying that it's all part of a master plan, that the government does not have the upper hand. Yet they've withdrawn from places like Kombolcha and Desi.
Yeah, we've had the Ethiopian, because of the coverage, key sources or the developments, we've been relying mostly on the national broadcasters such as the FANA, the EBC, who have really been giving the government's updates, the Office of the Spokesperson, the Government Communications Department of the Ethiopian government. In relation to or relying with that information, we've had the government announcing to have managed to take over various areas. The latest updates coming in last evening, areas such as Alem Amba, Mekdela, Gosh Meda, in addition to the other areas of Haik, Bistima, Basomile, and Wuchale. But on the other hand, we've had Mr. Getachew Reda, who's been one of the most vocal TPLF persons and the advisor to the president of Tigray. He's been saying that they do not agree with the statements of surrendering or even losing control of those places to the ENDF forces. But he says that they have inflicted lots of harms, but it doesn't explain further, but he says they have inflicted harm on the ENDF, the Ethiopian the defense forces.
Right. Now, Abdul, I mean, we just heard now from the Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation talking about the victories that that Abiy Ahmed has come out to claim. Don't you think it's too early to come out and to start counting the victories when we know the war is not totally over?
This actually is, to some extent, a matter of the battles and the war. So we don't know where actually the final war, which side is it going to sway to. But we know is there have been various areas where they have been contested, especially previously held by the TPL, previously held by the Ethiopian administration, then later taken over by the TPLF, then the Ethiopian government taking it back over. When I'm saying the Ethiopian government, I mean the Ethiopian National Defense Forces. So at the moment, nobody has claimed overall victory over the entire situation, because we've had calls for negotiations between the warring parties being given. We've had Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed saying that they won't stop until they're able to finish and safeguard the sovereignty of Ethiopia. So all and only at the moment, we haven't had what in football they will call the final whistle.
All right, so we're not close to the final whistle, and many will say, well, this is clearly beyond even half-time. But Abdin, diplomatic efforts by the African Union, the AU, to reach a ceasefire between these groups have so far proved abortive. Is there an end in sight, or after final whistle, are we going into extra time?
A key element, especially in this negotiation, is Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, because from the onset, he said that he is interested in ensuring that Ethiopia is under one Ethiopia, and the government won't be held in ransom by any entity, any ethnic entity, or any political grouping. So I think that makes it challenging to try and broker in a peace deal, something that, even though not much close, but we've had a situation in Kenya in the 2007-2008 post-election violence, where we've had former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President Mwai Kibaki entering talks, and everybody now resorting to some sort of power sharing. But Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has said they don't allow any external interference in terms of power sharing, and Ethiopia, until it's under the control of one government, under one leadership, they won't stop the ongoing situation.
All right, Abdinal, now looking at the situation in Tigray region, let's not forget that we've also gotten information that over 400,000 people have been affected. That's looking at the women and children in that region. Can you tell us what you know about the humanitarians who are trying to ensure that food, water, and some form of shelter is given to these people who have lost their homes in that region?
Actually, you've put it very well there, because much concentration, especially even from the Ethiopian government, from the TPLF, has been who has taken over which area. The humanitarian part of it has actually been falling on deaf ears, especially in most recent weeks. But we've still had the humanitarian organizations led by the United Nations and other charity providing missions have actually stated and spoken of some success to get access to some of the people, to reaching, providing foodstuffs and other support to some of the areas. But at the same time, there are increasing calls to try and ensure that nobody blocks the aid efforts in order to avoid lack of access to food and very urgent needs of the population, especially in the northern Tigray region. So we're still expecting more calls and more breakthroughs to try and make sure that the access and the much needed support reaches the targeted areas.
Huge humanitarian crisis out there in Ethiopia and Tigray. But thank you so much once again, Abdinal Aden, our East Africa correspondent, for giving us the latest when it comes to what's going on in that region.
And today we also have Tanzania celebrating 60th independence anniversary. So of course it isn't all about war and famine from the East African region.
Exactly.
Yes, most definitely. Lots of special programming much later at 10 a.m. West African time, specifically looking at Tanzania as they celebrate 6th. Hopefully Abdin might get input from you. But until then, have a good day, bro.
Thank you so much.